The Energy Efficiency Directive is, I suppose, an overarching policy directive around energy efficiency, but really takes a number of different aspects and pulls them together. So it looks at energy auditing, looks at obligations on energy suppliers, looks at public sector efficiency, procurement efficiency, all of these different elements that go into a national energy efficiency policy. It effectively sets the overarching framework for energy efficiency in Ireland through to 2020. I think we take energy efficiency generally quite seriously. The resources, the level of resources, the number of bodies that we have engaged in this subject matter all work together quite well. Ireland is quite a small country, which is very good. It means that there's a lot of interaction between industry and government. The policies that we're putting in place over the last few years and the policies that we will be putting in place over the next few years are all very much aligned down the route of the Energy Efficiency Directive. We're also very heavily involved in the negotiation of the directive, and very clearly we could see where it would assist us and where there was issues with maybe possible implementation in the future. So we'd like to think that we were able to help shape the directive towards, I suppose, the way in which we do business in Ireland, and particularly the way in which we do energy efficiency in Ireland. We have a number of different policies. I mean, because Ireland is such a small country, we have to be very close to all of the different sectors that we have, and across a number of different programmes we have that interaction. So if you take the Accelerated Capital Allowances and the EEE programme, which is effectively a list of best practice or most efficient products, SEI interacts directly with these organisations to identify what are the most energy efficient products, which then receive tax breaks. Also, in respect of the obligations that we've imposed on energy suppliers, we're constantly working with new companies and innovative products in order to identify what are these new energy efficiency technologies that we can provide or allocate credits to, which energy suppliers can then implement in programs, bringing them to residential or non-commercial organisations. The energy obligations on energy, or the obligations on energy suppliers, are perhaps the most tangible means in which the directive is going to be implemented. What they'll see there is energy suppliers being very active in the energy efficiency market and actively seeking to get them, or consumers, to make energy efficiency decisions. Hopefully, what we'll see is a huge amount of innovation coming through the market to identify new energy saving methods and measures, which then the energy suppliers will bring forward and offer to their consumers. So what we would like to see is a huge increase in the level of awareness of energy efficiency in Ireland, and therefore an increase in the level of activity. The consumer proposition is always key. It's how do you make the consumer want to have energy efficiency, because there's an awful lot of barriers that stop people wanting to implement. I mean, the barriers include the hassle factor, the cost, confusion, lack of knowledge, availability of finance. So these are all the things that we're looking at trying to remove in order to make it easier and simpler for homeowners effectively to implement energy efficiency measures. I mean, the IERC is doing tremendous work, and effectively the research that they're doing will be what will be implemented in the future. So I think it's very, very important for policymakers to be aware of the research that's been undertaken, and then to see and be able to understand how that's being pulled into the mainstream market in 5-10 years, because ultimately what the IERC are working on is what is going to be in homes in 10-15 years.